welcome to Aurora Mills Architectural Salvage. We're standing in the main retail showroom right now, which is a mill complex that was built in the late 19th century. On the main floor, we've got, try to keep all the hardware and stuff in one place, but then there's just kind of stuff everywhere. I always encourage people to look up, look down. You never know what you're gonna find, because we've got so much inventory that there's stuff everywhere and we have to put it on the ceiling.
Do you have to get the screwdriver out
every single time? Oh, yes. We, honestly, we should probably just like keep like a screw gun like in a holster on our belts, because yeah, there's just constant.
Like a gardening belt. Just have like a
yes. Yeah. No, merchandising in here is a challenge. All of us definitely pitch in, and that's not just because some of the stuff is extremely heavy and we have to. But down to bottle caps. Yeah, that's my often repeated phrase is we don't take all kinds, but we have all kinds. So, depending on what you're looking for, there's a pretty good chance we'll have it. The town was founded by a group of German Prussian immigrants that were seeking out an idyllic place to set up a utopian community. And this was happening in the later 19th century, so like 1850s, 60s era. And they traveled westward from Pennsylvania through Missouri, picked up more people along the way, and found Aurora as their eventual settlement. The name of the town is it's eponymous. It's after the daughter of Wilhelm Keil, who was the man who founded the community. So this town has a lot of history in and of itself. So I always tell people, like, when they come to Aurora, plan to kind of make a day of it, because it's more than just the sum of its parts. A lot of the antique shops in town, the town is famous for antique shops. They're actually housed in the original colony buildings. So, you really get a special feeling when you come here to visit and shop and just see the town. It's very idyllic.
So your building is one of the newer ones? So
that building is the first, large-scale new commercial building in Aurora since, I believe, 1987.
Oh.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal for us, because we've got so much invested here. We love everyone that works here. We all feel passionate about history and design and decor and the town itself. Everyone's really excited about the prospect of opening up that new space and bringing some more life and more people into town, because it's so close to Portland. I think a lot of people don't realize that it's like 25 minutes from Portland, and it's the perfect kind of like country day retreat if you're looking to do some fun shopping in the agricultural valley here. So
plus we were villages before we were Portland.
Absolutely.
And this is what built us.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's funny, the name of the town for the longest time was actually Aurora Mills. Even though it was founded as Aurora, the town actually ended up being built up as a milling town. And so up until the end of the 19th or early 20th century, the post office officially changed the name of the town to just Aurora. They shortened it. But yeah, it was called Aurora Mills for a long time. So it's kind of, makes sense. So Mike, who's not here today, who owns the business, who's awesome, we love him, our fearless leader. He purchased this property to save it from being demolished. I want to say it was like 27 or 28 years ago. It was in the 90s. He had been a contractor working on historic structures. He helped to actually move the Frank Lloyd Wright, the Gordon House.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So he was, he was one of the people that helped out with that. He was, doing demo around the city as a contractor and realized that there was so much stuff from all of these old buildings that wasn't really being used properly, especially things ending up in landfills and dumps. So he purchased this property to save it, started using it to store all the pieces that he found that were really cool, and then was like, hey, we could open this place up, have people here, and let people come and experience a little bit of history, local history. We definitely have designers that come in that are looking for something very specific because they work in period styles. They are, historical recreationists, conservators, things like that. They want to do everything right to the letter, to the decade, to the year. But it does not bar you from coming here and being creative. People will come in and say, well, this is really rococo and it doesn't fit in my Craftsman. And it's like, who cares? It's your house. You can do whatever you want. Good news, everyone. So yeah, calling all creatives, you know, this is a place for everyone. If you can dream it, you can do it. Take it and run with it. You know, there are no rules.
How does stuff get here? I mean, there's a lot more.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. And actually we have a lot of storage units. So on this property itself, prior to us building that new building, we used to have like a World War II era Quonset hut on the property that we erected to use as storage. That was actually deconstructed and re-erected by another person who took it up to Washington. So it got recycled and it's being used again. There's another barn on the property which actually predates this building by I think like 15 years or so. It was a potato storage warehouse, so we call it the Potato. And it's a little red barn by the train tracks. We've got multiple storage units in town. And then we also own another mill on the East Coast in Connecticut. It's an old textile mill. We're storing lots more stuff there. We go on several buying trips a year back to the East Coast. We have a network of people that we work with to source things. We usually try to send back a 53-foot railway container 3 times a year that's Tetrised in. I mean, literally like inches of space between everything back here to the mill to have fresh inventory, new things, new old things to look at for people to shop. So across the country, across the globe, you know, when we shop on the East Coast, we work with people who bring things in, antiques from Europe. If you're looking for things like that, you know, we've got a little bit of everything. So yeah, we just kind of like take it all in as much as we can. We also have local people that sell to us. You know, people call all the time looking to see if they can consign things or things like that. We don't do consignment, but we do buy outright. So, you know, if people have things that they want to sell to us, send us an email. We'll take a look and let you know.
Do you have a fair amount of business that you do online where people from different part of the country contact you?
Yes.
Looking for something?
Absolutely, all the time. And actually, so my job here is e-com and marketing. So I handle all the website stuff, and it's a 2-woman team, and we tackle all of the modern technology associated with all the old stuff. So we get contacted from designers all over the globe. I've shipped things to Dubai, you know, London, everywhere. That being said, it's not always inexpensive lately, but yeah, no, where hotels, all kinds of commercial entities. I mean, we can do volume, we can do special requests, anything. Yeah.
And is your inventory actually shoppable online?
Yes.
Okay.
So there is a full cadre of about, I think there's about 1,500 total products on there right now. I mean, again, 2-women team, so
Yeah.
we can't get everything on there. We do what we can to kind of like keep pace with like when something really cool or amazing comes in, we definitely kind of shuttle that to the front. I have a commercial and residential design manager here who works specifically with interior designers to help them source, so she's more familiar with like the bulk of the inventory. So if you're looking for something specific, she'll go around and she will help you personal shop for those things for your clients for a project.
And you mentioned there's some kind of designer trade.
There is. So we have a trade program, and like I said, it's tiered based on, you know, how much you're spending with us. But when you come in, just let us know your interior designers, give us your business card, we'll put you in the system, and then you can get a discount on products. Yeah. Let's go walk around. We'll go walk around. We'll go to like the bathroom section here. Let's go. This is hardware alley. All of the knobs and latches and pools and everything else, you know, mundane things like, you know, the bails that fall out of your dresser pools when they're too loose. We can get replacement ones for you and match them to the best of our ability. All kinds of hardware. And we display all these things, but there's a mass of overstock. So we pick a handful of things, but if you don't see it here, it doesn't mean we don't got it. So kind of that being said, keep that in mind. If you're looking to match, like for those nitpicky historical folks, if you're looking to match a very specific doorknob pattern,
You have it.
We got it. We can do that. And if we don't have it, we know the people who can get it for you. So all the patterns that you see, so many of these patterns, when this hardware was manufactured in the 19th century, these patterns all had names. They had, specific connotations, everything. And some of those trade catalogs are still available from the 19th century, and they're very valuable, believe it or not. But they all had these very specific names. So like, for instance, the doorknobs, there's a whole society of people who collect and study these old doorknob patterns. And so they're broken down by virtue of the arrangement of the pattern on the knob. So you'd have something that's like radial symmetry versus like fourfold symmetry, and then everything's divided up. They have figural doorknobs, which feature things like a dog on them. That's like one of the holy grail doorknobs. One of the most valuable, the doggy doorknob. Yeah, it's a very valuable one. So, I mean, everybody loves dogs, right? I mean, who doesn't want a good dog? This is really, you got this one came back on the lost container. It's a great piece of furniture, it's super cool.
Or
Fraternal.
perfect at anybody's dining table.
It would,
Yeah.
if you're going for that imposing, mysterious sort of a vibe, then yeah, we got you covered. Came from a fraternal lodge. All this fraternal stuff is, there's always
I thought it was
something
a church,
cool.
but yeah, that makes
But
sense.
yeah, and so many people, I didn't notice it when I was taking pictures of it, but there's, if you look, this side is offset just a little bit. And we assume that, all of these fraternal lodges had these like little mysterious ceremonies and things that they would do. And so we think that there was some sort of like hidden purpose, like they maybe had like a little secret compartment there that was like, the mystery, like, ooh, sort of a thing. But really cool. Really neat.
Their kids were
I know, they needed an antimacassar. The little things on like bus seats, it's like a piece of cloth that goes over the top of the bus seat. And they call them antimacassars because there was this hair oil that people put on. It was called macassar oil, right? And so it made these spots on the back of the chair. I know, crazy. All the plumbing stuff, I mean, we have a relatively good selection of plumbing things. The lower warehouse, which I will take you to later, is the repository of all of the rest of the sinks, the tubs, the toilets, the windows, the doors, all the other things. We try to keep, the nicer, like ready to go kind of stuff up here in this little section. The clawfoot tubs, we got you covered. If you just need the claw feet, I've got like a whole, I can show you. I've got a whole closet full of just claw feet. When we buy a tub, it's either a salvage tub and it's going to be filled with flowers in your front yard, or a good condition tub that's something you can use again in your bathroom. So you want to look, when you're looking for an antique tub, if you're looking for something like this, you want to check the areas around where like the fittings and the fixtures go, so that it's not full of spalls and rust. If this is good and intact, the tub will last again another 100 years. I have a big binder full of contractors and suppliers that, like, if we can't do it here, people like working on wood window restoration, things like that, we'll send them out. We'll give you the list of people that we've worked with in the past. But things that we do offer on site here to people, if they need repairs, we have a UL certified lighting shop. So if you need lighting rewired, we rewire all the antique lighting here. If you have stained glass or need glass repaired, I also have a trained glass specialist who can fix your old leaded glass windows. He can fix old sash windows, you name it. He's got it. So yeah, we do offer a couple of different services here just in terms of like working with these pieces. And if you need something customized, one of our workshop guys is awesome. He does a great job. He just finished up a table. It's funny. We had a customer come in and we had this big old beautiful farm table, and he took the top down a little bit and just like smoothed it out, made it look really nice. And the guy's like, I love this table, but it's not beat up enough. And so he asked to have like chains and stuff dragged across the top to make it look more rough. So, you know, it's funny when you're buying old pieces and you're out looking at these things, it's like you take these things into consideration. You're like, okay, is the client going to want something that's a little bit more, you know, weathered on the surface, or are they going to want something that like looks like imperfect from here down, but then on the top, do they want it to look nice? And it's just like, you guys obviously know as designers, I mean, that's such a difficult line to tread. So, you know, we try to, again, have a little bit of everything so that, you know, hopefully you find what you're looking for. This is the area I call Grandpa's Garage. So the other thing that we have lots of here are tools, implements, all kinds of industrial stuff. You know, most of this stuff, I feel like, just by virtue of its construction, will last forever. That's gonna be heavy. I think it's for concrete. It's either for
really?
concrete or like some kind of like tile application. It's got a brush. Yeah, there's enough things in here that like half the stuff I'm like, I have no idea.
No idea.
Yeah.
Do they use firebox covers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We call them summer covers.
Summer covers.
Yeah, summer covers. In the summertime when people decommission their fireplaces or weren't using them, they put those. Yep, keep the decorative insert in there so it looks pretty. Yeah, but heating grate covers, oil cans, railroad paraphernalia, saws, duct tape.
Oh.
You know, you never know. You never know what someone's going to be looking for. Brick molds, trays to feed hogs on a farm, bow saws, anything. Foundry molds. There's an endless supply of off-the-wall old stuff. Mike is, I always call him the wizard. He's like the Wizard of Oz, you know, he's like the man behind the curtain. So anytime there's like a question about something,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, okay, we gotta go ask Mike, we'll find him, and he'll know. He remembers like
Everything.
If you, you know, he'd be
Such
like,
a cool
oh, I
pal.
remember where I got this, it's from that guy, and this is what they do with it, and da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, that's a lifetime of knowledge.
Yeah.
Show you around a little bit more. Actually, we should go check out the kitchen area. This is
These
like
are adorable.
cameras, glasses. We just got a whole collection of old spectacles from someone, and they're not in here, but we literally had a suitcase filled with old glasses and spectacles from everything from like literally like the teens to the 60s. Someone just kept every pair of glasses ever. Crazy. Architectural pieces, pediments, go around this way, doors, ironwork, everything. Shutters. These doors are from a firehouse, the old firehouse in Woodburn. Like I said, because there's so much, keeping things kind of thematically organized helps a lot. So if you're looking for vintage kitchenalia, tins, flywheel coffee grinders, and you know, these still work. Oftentimes when we get these old coffee grinders in, you spin the wheel, you open the drawer, there's like coffee still inside. Yeah, spice tins, all kinds of just crazy old stuff. This is actually a lab cabinet from like an old school. Put your microscopes back, but if you want to put it in your kitchen, that's okay too.
I used to represent a company that was selling old tobacco bark wood. That smell was so incredible.
And you know what? They use that old tobacco barn wood makes beautiful boxes and baskets and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
That's old ones, right?
Yes. You know, some people actually specifically come in looking for wood that has like the little bug trails in it because they want that look. So hey, you gotta have a little bit of everything. These are the ends of old berry boxes, and this farm, we bought out every berry crate that they had, and the berry crates are like, that's about the size of a soda crate, and then you'd fill them with the little wood boxes when they picked the berries on the farm. We must have bought like, I don't know, 2,000 of those boxes. We sold every one of them. Now all we have is the box ends. But the boxes were cool because they had the years stamped on them. So there were some from like the 40s
Oh,
and
wow.
the 60s. The fork and knife are from the Oneida Silverware Factory
Oh.
in New York. So when that factory got decommissioned, we ended up buying out a lot of stuff from the factory, including the fork and knife, but also a lot of the blanks and molds, which we sold a lot of them, but I know I have more. I don't know if there are any in here, but we have these, they're very heavy, large dies, and they were used to actually stamp out the silverware. And they had actual like molds from Tiffany, like metal, cast metal pieces and things like that. All kinds of really cool stuff. That's from a different knife manufacturer.
Because it's nice.
And you can get, I mean, you will find cleavers, butcher knives, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And that's like
And there's-
stainless steel, right?
It's stainless steel.
And there's two pieces
Yep.
up there, right?
Yep, yeah, there
Oh
are
my
two
gosh, that could be
pieces.
the coolest doors, little panels. Oh my gosh.
I've had someone use it as like the kind of diffuser for a light fixture.
Like a transom
Yeah.
too.
Let's keep going. Should we go upstairs or downstairs? It's warm upstairs, and then it'll be very cold downstairs.
Oh.
More stuff, signs. We just started like getting more vintage clothing in. I will say the vintage clothing definitely has like what I would call an aesthetic vibe for this place. So we've got a lot of like workwear, Pendleton flannels, and other things like that. Maybe a Hawaiian shirt or two, you know, just whatever. Architectural pieces. You know, the corbels. I think corbels are always a popular thing for people. Everyone's looking to kind of add just a little unique rustic touch. And these things are always great for texture. You know, like fast fashion. They talk about fast fashion. There's definitely like a fast decor market nowadays too. And I think that when people come here, they're looking for the opposite of that. They're looking for something that's authentic and unique and that has a story, because so many of those production pieces that you can find thousands of for cheap don't have that. And I think part of that is what makes a space feel, I don't know, like when you walk into a space that has good design, that really is a thoughtful space, you kind of feel it. And so I think having pieces like this really kind of adds to the weight and the gravitas of that. Barber chairs, I don't know. Do you need them? Maybe. Old skis, old sporting equipment. We have a guy that comes in and buys us out of all of our old skis. He uses them to make like headboards and things. If you've got a cabin in the woods. But yeah, vintage clothes. If you need a nice cut-off denim vest, it comes with the eagle button, so you know it's legit. These make me think of Beetlejuice when he's in the graveyard. Yeah. Kilts, Boy Scout uniforms, anything, letters, all letters. Pinball. Yes. Regrettably, I need to get someone out here to service it because I cannot, for whatever reason, I can't. It's not my
Oh,
place.
really?
But I know that there are people. I believe Quarter World has like technicians. We gotta
I
call
think so.
someone. Yeah,
I-
get it fixed.
I assume this must be common knowledge that I just wasn't aware of, but apparently Portland has the most pinball
Really?
machines per capita of any place in
Okay,
the world.
that's not common knowledge because
Okay,
I don't.
I heard it on the radio,
That's
so
that is a
how
great,
true it is,
That
but
is a great factoid.
it feels right.
It
I'm
does
pretty
feel
sure.
right. This thing still has all of the old. It has the original like directions with it and stuff. So I'm sure one of these days we'll get it fixed. Maybe we'll put it out in the new building and people will just play it. Because
Yeah, all those events you have.
all the events we're having planned, yes, we need that. Yeah, mid-century stuff. We're trying. This is like the romper room area. We're like, you know, we get a couple of pieces in that kind of like fit together. We're like, oh, we'll make a thing with that. We'll do something. This is like grandma's basement kind of a deal. It's a vibe, but people like it. It's just, everybody actually really loved this vinyl furniture. Everyone was like, oh my god.
I think people have to come in here and just kind of stop
Oh, yeah.
and just move their eye at one level.
Yep.
And then come back at a different level.
Yes.
Because there's just so many layers.
It's not a place to rush around.
No.
And that's what it's like. So many times, you know, we close at 5 o'clock, and people will show up at like 4:50, and they're like, "Hey, can I come just take a quick look around?" And it's like, okay, but you're gonna be bummed out because it's not a quick place. It's a place to take your time and stop and look. But I mean, by that same token, is a great place to bring clients because, you know, here you walk around with people, you get to look at a little bit of everything, and then you get a better idea of what they're looking for too, I think.
Sometimes they see things and they go, oh, I think that's really cool. I would never have thought. I thought that would have been cool. But
there it
now,
is.
where are you going to fit that into my house?
Exactly, exactly. Designers, make it work. I don't think the mezzanine's open, so we'll probably just go back downstairs.
Oh, okay.
Let me double check. Oh yeah, it is open. We can peek through. All right. So it is an old mill.
Great.
And so this is our glass manager's workshop up here. This is where he works on all the stained glass windows and other glass things. So you can see he's got like a bunch of light fixtures that he's going to repair and replace. And we have a huge selection of old glass pieces that go back into the fixture. So
Wow.
everything's replaced with old glass.
That's awesome.
It goes even further up. We do have a couple of resident owls, a few bats. Nathan, our glass manager, is fixing up everything.
Does he work on product that wasn't originally from here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. And you can submit pictures of your projects for a quote through the website. So if you've got things, antique glass that needs to be repaired, we can take care of it for you.
I've never heard of Queen Kong.
Queen Kong.
But I'm
She's
feeling her.
bigger and badder than the king. That's my feelings on. That's just my personal assessment. Well, you guys ready to bundle up and go downstairs? Yeah.
Ready?
Just go downstairs.
Exactly. Let's get dressed.
Let's go. Yeah, you're gonna be chilly here, but we'll try. We'll walk at a brisk pace to keep
Good.
the blood flowing. We've got moldings, trim, newel posts, columns, posts, beadboard, headers and pediments, and casing. So all that stuff around there in the back, on the back wall, it's called casing. It's especially in Victorian era homes, they would trim the outside of the door with like very fancy woodwork with lots of, you know, OGs and edges and things like that. So
So what if I say I need 4 matching columns?
if you
Is that
need
something
4
I can-
matching columns, it could happen.
Yeah.
It could happen. Yeah, we just sold the big one that we had. We had like a really big cutter blade, like old school, you know, like
Put a horse behind it or in front of it?
Yep.
Wow. So we were gonna go to the guy who helped you reach a term on these things.
We have a guy here in the colony that does wood turning.
Oh, in
Yes.
yeah, no, we were
In
supposed-
Aurora.
Yeah, we were gonna.
going-
Oh, you're gonna go
First.
see him, Tim. If you can't find it here, I'd send you to Tim,
Yeah.
and he can turn it for you, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's great.
Well, let's go here. Let's go beyond the authorized personnel only. So we call this area the middle. This is the middle warehouse. for a very long time, we were using, and still are, using this as kind of a triage area for storage. Like as new things came in, they'd come here, we'd figure out where we want to put them or process them, and then bring them out on the floor eventually. We're going to try and finish clearing the rest of this out so that it's actually shoppable and accessible in the next couple of years. Wanted to finish that new building first. But you can see there's still a lot of things. This is like a fun pile of stuff. This whole place is a fun pile of stuff. Okay, so let's head downstairs. Watch your step as you come down. Yep, got some car parts, got some Jeep grills, car fenders, some hoods, lights. So this is what we called the lower. It's the lower warehouse. Industrial stuff. So like, you know, table bases, lathe bases, things like that people like to use for like big heavy duty furniture and things. Stools, tons of stools. Doors. Windows. So we sell and maintain a stock of hundreds and hundreds of interior and exterior doors, salvaged out from properties here. And sometimes if we find good ones on the East Coast, we'll buy, you know, a bunch of them there. But essentially with old, you know, solid wood doors, they come in configurations with like different numbers of recessed panels. So we try to keep everything labeled. So if you're shopping for a door and you're needing to match, you know, the pattern in your house or what have you, you know, you're gonna look for 1P, 2P. So depending on like panels, the measurements are written on the side, but we have a huge selection. I don't have them inventoried electronically so that if you call me and say, do you have a 28 by 80 inch door with 4 panels in this orientation? I'm gonna tell you, probably. Come down and see me and we'll look for it together. Because that is an often posed inquiry. People will call and be like, do you have doors? Yes. I'm not at a point, I would love, the nitpicky, you know, organization person would love to have these all accessible in that way. But that being said, when you come here, I'll help you find them. Make the trip. It's great. You'll have a good time. We'll find a door. Everyone will be happy. All will end well. Bring a sweater. It's my one piece of advice. Same goes for windows. So Nathan, the fellow that I mentioned who does the glass for stained glass, he also has a really good idea of just like what we have in terms of old wood sash windows. You know, we had people just recently coming in doing a historic restoration of a property in Lake Oswego. They needed to replace wood windows. And so they came here and they found all the windows that they needed. And I think there were something like 13 or 14 wood windows. They replaced all of the mortise lock boxes in the house. They found them there. Mortise lock box, so modern doors have a cord hole. It's like a 3-inch bore hole, and then the knobs come together and they open like that. In an old door, they use what's called a mortise lock box, so it's actually inserted into the door. They mortise out like a little box into the door, and then the lock box, you probably would recognize them, just slips into the door. We have those two. So if you're looking to, you know, fix an old lock, come here. We'll help you out. Take care of it. Wood crates behind you. So many wood crates. More wood crates than you could ever want. Iron bins, steel bins, things maybe that you want to like plant flowers in. We got them. Tons of it. Like, embarrassingly large numbers of those sorts of things. This is kind of a raw materials area, I would say, more than anything else. But there are architectural pieces, industrial pieces, everything.
Could be. What is this?
It was an electrical
Oh, okay.
box. This is like kind of the precursor of precursors, and I don't know if we can open it. Let's.
There might be a
It's kind of
dead body
stuck.
in there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe. It's hinged. And actually, it's funny. We have a couple people who practice old trades the old-fashioned way. People who make hats and shoes, so cobblers and haberdashers. they will come and they will get equipment here to facilitate the
Interesting.
practice of their trade. There's a gentleman who makes, custom beautiful, beaver and felt hats in Portland.
Yeah.
And he had, I believe it was a sewing machine. He had the machine. It was the old machine from the early 20th century. And we ended up having the base for the machine to marry the two pieces together.
Cool.
And he uses it in his shop now. So it's
Awesome.
there it is. Everything comes together. This is some kind of surgical device thing. I don't know what it's like. Look, there's a bag.
Bag of chips.
Look, someone put a bag of Doritos in there. What?
As opposed to syringes and gauzes.
When things show, I have had things show up here, and when you open up the drawers of some of this stuff, it's like, I don't know what I'm gonna find. Like jewelry, we found teeth. We found, there's
Teeth.
Yeah, teeth. All kinds of wild, crazy, wacky stuff that people leave behind. This looks, it's like some kind of dentistry or I don't know, some kind of surgical thing. Set designers come here a lot. We are actually, we are putting together an order that's gonna get shipped out here to another state for a pending movie. So they're buying things like light fixtures and suitcases and other stuff to kind of set up the period feel of a movie that's going to be set in the 1920s. But that's the thing is
Do you need a
They
Dorito
don't know.
machine?
They don't
need
know
it.
what they're missing.
it comes with Doritos.
Yeah.
What is that over there?
Oh, that basin?
Yeah.
I have no idea. It's probably
But it looks like you put hoses up
Yeah,
there.
no, it's probably some kind of a parts washing apparatus. If I had to guess, a lot of the industrial pieces came out of old factories. So there's tooth gears, things from steel foundries, you name it. So that thing,
So it probably the other side must be like a foot pedal.
I think
And
there is.
water comes out of
Yep.
there, water drains there in water.
Sounds good. I like your assessment. I'll
Probably
agree
has
with
nothing to do with any of it.
Well, these are old salvage beams too. These are salvaged out locally. Yeah, go right up. The posts are from an old bridge rail that are salvaged out. So everything here is a little bit of old to marry in with the new. Maple. These old floors are from an old gymnasium.
The other thing I love is I've had a couple people make countertops out of old bowling alleys.
Oh, we have old.
Love that.
We have sections of old bowling alley available for purchase if you want.
I dig that. That's fun.
Yep. So watch your step, because it's a little messy up here, like the rest of the shop. We kind of keep things informal. We are trying to kind of facilitate a little sanctuary back there because we are on what I think is the best named river, the Pudding River.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes. The building design, this is a custom design building based on the architectural facade of an historic railroad shed.
Oh, cool.
So the design was all created with that in mind to fit into the historical fabric of the town here, so that it was consistent. Keeping the skyline nice and keeping everything sort of visually on point with the aesthetic here.
There's seriously some casual invested in steel and iron.
Yes.
And columns. and
Yes.
Support structure.
Yep,
Wow.
for sure. But it makes for a great show.
Oh, it
Yeah,
does.
it does.
It's such a nice kind of contrast to go from the old mill into this new space, which is just totally filled with natural light.
Well, and this old use of a basilica, the lighting
Yes,
up
the
on
clear
top.
story above.
Love
Yeah.
Are the newel posts old?
Yes, they are. They're from a bridge. Yes. Yeah, they're ironwork from an old bridge. Everything's always evolving around here. But originally, it's you can have office space on that side. And then this area is going to be a common area. So people can have gathering here, meeting. We were going to have kind of movable walls so that we could have rotating art stuff or things like that. It's such a great town. We're so close to the city here. but we're ideally positioned in this like beautiful agricultural valley. I mean, everything grows here. You know, so many of the vegetables and the flowers and everything else that we get living up in Portland or in Salem in the cities comes from right around here in like Aurora, Hubbard, Woodburn, those areas. So, you know, people looking to kind of, number one, reconnect with that, and then also like just to have that sort of experience of, you know, going somewhere and doing something for the day. This is the place to be.